get quiet, go on and get crunk. Head back to Longview, Kelly popping trunk. I ain't even tripping, riding and I'm sipping. Let me come through, 4-4, steady tipping. Don't let me relax, watch the trunk crack. Let me sit sideways, CB running back. Maybe AP, maybe AD. I ain't even tripping cause we some athletes. Listen with Spitty in the summertime. He get pissed if we don't make our time.
What's up, YouTube? Today I have a very special guest. She's the Oklahoma superstar and now a WoW superhero. It's Danni P. What's up?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. I'm doing great. I mean, you seem to be in a really good mood. Like, you're already jumped on the camera. You're already super excited, super happy. You said it was a great Monday. So how's your day going?
Oh, yeah, that's just me. I try to always just be in a good mood all the time, but especially after a weekend of wrestling where I can just enjoy and relax now, I'm super excited.
Totally. Now, I really want to talk about your story because you have such like an interesting story for someone that's like from Oklahoma, but like trained with Booker T down in Houston. So what's your story of like going from in Oklahoma to Texas? And I know that's only like a state away, but Texas is like a whole country in itself.
Very
much. Your story.
So in 2018, I started training in Oklahoma. I learned as much as I could, but I knew like I wanted to be better. And I didn't even know Booker T had a school, I'm gonna be honest, until a friend told me. And they were like, he's all the way in Houston. I'm like, bet I'll move my whole life to Houston to get some training. And I did that and I trained that role for about 1.5 years and I learned so much. Like the people that's in and out of that school, it's so crazy. Yeah. And the fact that I was just in the ring with so many different people, it was definitely well worth it. And as an Oklahoma, yes, I'm glad to live in Texas, but I still be in Oklahoma, so don't get it twisted.
Yeah, it seems like you're really like proud of being from Oklahoma. It's like, I guess my question is, someone's from Maryland and DC. What makes Oklahoma such a great place? Because like you seem to really rep it like super hard.
Man, I know people joke all the time that there's nothing there. And I think that's honestly why I enjoy so much. Like when I lived there as a kid growing up, like hanging out with the people that you know in your small town and just making those memories out of nothing and literally doing nothing but just being proud of where I'm from. Like I come from a very, very like poor family and all that stuff. And that's kind of how like Oklahoma is in majority of that area. So just being this image of just trying to tell these kids like, hey, you can do anything you want. I know we come from nothing, but I promise if you just believe in yourself, I promise you can do anything you want.
Oh man, that's great. I'd love to hear that. What's like your story of like getting into professional wrestling? I see you're wearing Hardy Boy shirts. So I can assume you're a Jeff Hardy fan. So like, what's your story of getting into wrestling?
Definitely Jeff is my favorite wrestler. And of course, as everyone else, I watched it as a kid and had the goals and dreams of it as a kid until reality kicked in and I had to go to college and all that stuff. And I ended up going to college for half a semester. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I really don't. So I was searching everywhere to find a training school. And I think that was probably the most nervous thing I've ever done in my life is going to training wrestling for the first time. Like that was probably the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm so glad I got over the fear of doing it because I'm here now. So I'm actually glad I really pushed myself to do it.
Heck yeah. And like you say, you're at school for half a semester. I'm in school right now. It's been like 4 years. So I can tell it's not fun. What was like your major for like that, little bit of time?
I went to college for half a semester, but in high school I did like a college program and I went for video and broadcasting. So I'm into like film, photography and all that cool stuff, which I kind of wish I still did it, which I might go back in the future because I love taking pictures and making videos and all of that. But I love doing that stuff still, even though I'm not in school for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important, especially like doing what you're doing right now with social media and whatnot. So how do you feel like, how important is social media for you now, being in this generation of wrestling where everything is based off online?
Man, that's such a good question because I told the new people that I train with that are just starting, I'm like, hey, social media, I know you don't be on here and stuff like that, but like that is the biggest way to like gain a fan base, to have find you. Like social media is so much important, and also just the content of what you're posting too. So I try to tell people, hey man, that's how I be getting some of my bookings is social media. So I'm on there.
Heck yeah. So like, what was it like training with Booker T? Because I mean, like that's an incredibly big name to have like as your trainers. Like, how was he?
He is amazing, and just the style of his wrestling is so unique. And I actually just did a show with them on Sunday, and I got the chance to talk to him and ask questions about my match and stuff, and just the little things. And I'm just like, how did I not think of that? And I'm just like, of course, you know what I'm saying, it's Booker T. And just him being at the school sometimes, like I've done like matches with him and stuff like that, and just getting the kind of critique where it's not bad, but like I'm learning so much from him just talking to me in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like my notebook and paper is always filled when I have a training day with him. So it's very a dope experience. And I try to tell people come all the time, hey, if you want some training, come to Reality Wrestling. It's lit down here.
Over the summer, actually, I like trained a little bit with Booker T, and mainly just like not like in person or anything, just like virtual. He had like virtual classes for like a couple months. And there's like so much information that you like constantly tell everyone. And even though I wasn't there in person, I still feel like I learned like so much from him. So like, what's like one like tidbit of information that Booker said that's kind of been like life changing for you?
Ooh, I think it's when I do most of my heel work, then the way he describes how to work heat and just to literally slow everything down. And at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna slow down. But he legit means like slow down like not rush anything. Cause I used to be so fast and boom, boom, boom. But wrestling is so much better, like when you can just breathe and slow down and do everything. So I definitely took that advice.
Yeah. And like, how's it been like now, like working on independent scene, like after like wrestling outside of just Reality Wrestling?
Man, it's so, oh man, and everywhere is so different. Like I can't put everything in the same category. Like every place, I know in Texas, we have like a million cities, but literally every promotion is so different, and just learning to work with different crowds and different people. Like it's been such a learning experience.
Yeah, and like, have you had like a certain match that's kind of like been one? I know it's kind of a basic question to ask, but like, have you had like a match that's kind of been like one of your favorites so far?
Oh yes, I think it was recently just the match I had with Rok-C for the freaking Ring of Honor Women's Championship.
Ooh,
I don't even know how that happened, but it did, and that was probably my best matches up to date. And I love wrestling Rok-C so much. She's so young, but she's so wide, and I learn every time I wrestle with her.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like you've been training with like a lot of different people. I've seen pictures on Instagram with you, like with Ember Moon, with Jazz. Like, how's it been like training like with such big names?
Man, like sometimes like when I'm there doing seminars, I'm just like, wow, I'm standing in front of Jazz, Ember Moon. It's just so crazy. And just to like, I live in the same city with y'all. Like I can come see y'all anytime. Like that's so crazy. Like Jazz, every time I meet her, like she's really like my aunt. Like she is so awesome. Like I need to see her again, speaking of her. But just meeting with different people and all these wrestlers, and just I'm so grateful for it. Like I just can't even put words on it.
Yeah, and like to add to that, is there something that you might have learned from them, especially being like a Black woman in wrestling right now? Is there like a certain like code that like, you know, you gotta make sure you follow to make sure that we all feel equal and like safe in the business?
Definitely. I know for Texas, we all try to keep in contact with each other because, of course, and not to be mean, but like we see wrestling in a different world from non-Black people, and that's just how it is. Honest. So I try to keep in contact with other girls to see, hey, mentally, like I know it's rough, I know it's hard. Like, is everybody good? Are we on the same page? So I just try to keep in contact, because I have to end up wrestling these girls, and just for everybody in my area in general. So we definitely like have all this bond.
That's good. That's good. No, family is important. And you also mentioned earlier like that you work heel sometimes, and like I've seen a match and I've seen work heel. How do you do it? Because like you're like smiling a lot. You seem like such a good person. So like, where's the heel coming out of?
That's so funny because literally everybody says that, and I try to find like, because once I walk through that curtain, like I become like a bad bitch, like right there. And I don't know how I do it because I just want to smile all the time. So it's just something that like clicks and switches to be like, don't smile. This is serious, like straight up.
And I guess like to add on to that as well, it's like now you probably have a lot to smile about because now you're part of WOW. So like, what's the story of like you joining them? Because like that was insane to see.
Man, of course, it was me and my friend Charity. We started wrestling with Tessa in San Antonio, and the more we started working with her, like she was inviting us out to California to meet David and other people, and she just like helped us get on there. You know what I'm saying? She helped us train really, really hard, and I appreciate her so much. And we start filming sometime next year. So I'm super excited about that. Like, I don't even have any ideas because I feel like it's just going to be the complete opposite of what I'm thinking. So I'm just chilling, waiting till it pop off, you know?
Were you a big fan of WoW before? Like, did you already know about the product?
Yes, that's why it's so crazy because, like, I legit used to watch it and now I'm finna be on it. Like, that's crazy. Like, what?
Heck yeah. And, like, have you, like, I've seen the picture on Instagram. What's it been like working with, like, AJ Lee? Because, like,
man, I was so nervous to meet her. And when I saw her, like, just come on, because we were all there in the group first, and she came on stage, and I'm just like seeing her, because that was my first time seeing her in real life. Yeah. I'm just like, you don't know how much I'm in love with you. Like, oh my God. And just meeting with her and talking and like, because she's going to be the writer, and I'm just like, oh my God, I know her ideas are going to go through the roof. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do anything for you, AJ Lee, please. I just want to work with you.
Definitely. Like, is there a match that you want to see yourself in when you join WoW, or like when you're on the actual television show?
Oh my goodness. I want to wrestle everybody. I'm just one of those. Like, give me anybody. I'm down with anybody.
I guess like one of my last few questions, right, is this might be a little deep, so prepare yourself. Who is Danny B?
Oh my goodness. I wish I could be Danny B 24/7. But Danny B is just this small town girl from Oklahoma City with literally big dreams, willing to move anywhere, meet, train anywhere, just to make herself happy. Like, of course I have goals of doing big things, but honestly, I'm just trying to stay in the present moment and just do as much as I can and meet as many people as I can. And I'm having so much fun with life right now, and I couldn't ask for anything else.
My final question is, you actually were the first Black woman to hold a championship in the state of Oklahoma, which is like insane to see. So with that happening, what's the next big goal for you in 2022? I know you're going to be on WoW. That's incredible. But like, what's going to be the big goal going into next?
I think a few goals of mine in hand. I definitely want to start going into intergender wrestling. Okay. I'm very, very interested in that, and I'm trying to find my first victim of a man to wrestle. Yeah. But it was like mixed tags and going to the East Coast and West Coast, and literally just whatever opportunity comes my way, like, I'm taking it.
Hell yeah. Where can I find you on social media?
Oh, yes, you can find me on Instagram at Danny B OKC, also Twitter, and also Facebook at Danny B.
Wow, this is just great. This is great. Love talking to you. Thank you for coming on. It's really appreciated, of course.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, make sure to like, comment, share, and always subscribe, and we're out.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze.